Alright guys, so welcome back to the session. Welcome back to everyone. We are in the motion in the straight line. We are studying about the kinematics, and in this session we are going to take you forward in your journey of preparation of physics for the NEET examination. Okay? Okay. So guys, I'm your very own educator, physics educator, Dr. Shankar Sir, and I hope that you are doing fine today and you are all enthusiastic about the NEET preparation and we are studying the physics in the right direction. Okay, so guys, in the last session, we have started with the kinematics. Now, previously on the channel, we have completed the first chapter, that is the chapter of units and measurement. And afterwards, we have started about the kinematics. And this is the second session in the motion in the straight line segment. So in the first session, we have spoken about what is kinematics, okay, what is the use of this kinematics and how this kinematics is utilized, okay, how this is going to be utilized, what is its use in physics, okay. Moreover, we have seen that how the distance and displacements are different from each other and how to solve the questions from that very segment. Now, guys, in this session, I'll be continuing with the concepts of the kinematics from the point where we left the last session. Okay, but before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Shankar Sir. I am PhD and MTech from Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee. Okay, so guys, in this session, as I said, so we are going to continue or taking forward, we are going to take forward the concepts of the kinematics till the point we have seen. Okay, so guys, in the last session, in the last video, okay, in the last video, that is the first part of the motion in the straight line. Okay, in the last video, in the last session, what we have done, so in the last session, guys, we have spoken about that what is distance and what is displacement and how they are different from each other and how we can take forward between the distance and displacement, how we can solve the problems, how we can solve the questions. Okay. Now, we will be talking about, okay, in this session, we'll be talking about the, what? In this session, we'll be talking about the speed and velocity concept. We'll be talking about the speed and velocity concept. Okay, so what is the difference between speed and velocity? And to some level, we'll be taking you in this session. Okay, so sir, what is it? So in today's session, we'll be talking about the speed and velocity. So let's start. So guys, what is the speed? If I ask you what is the speed and what is velocity, so you would say that this is something very simple. We know what is the speed and what is velocity. So sir, it is the change in distance. It is the change in distance upon change in time. Change in distance upon the change in time. Whereas the velocity is change in displacement. It is change in displacement. Okay, change in displacement upon change in time. Okay, so sir, we all know about it. This is change in displacement upon change in time. So we have the speed, we have the velocity. One is change in distance per unit time and one is change in displacement per unit time. Okay, so they have the same units, same dimension, but how they are different from each other? How they are different from each other? So how they are different from each other? So speed is a scalar quantity, we know. Okay, and velocity is the vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. Okay, so scalar quantity, we also have learned that scalar is something which depends upon the magnitude only, and vector is something which depends upon both magnitude and direction. Vector is something which depends upon both magnitude and the direction. Okay, magnitude and the direction. So guys, how we can deal with it? So now please understand this. So speed is equal to change in distance upon change in time. Velocity is equal to change in displacement upon change in time. So one is scalar, one is vector. This is something what we already know. But the point is, so what we are going to do. So when we are talking about the speed, basically we are interested in two things. See, this concept we'll be doing by the help of questions. So we have one average speed and we have one instantaneous speed. Okay. We have one instantaneous speed, we have one average speed. Similar for the velocity also, we have the average velocity, we have the average velocity, and we have the instantaneous velocity. We have the instantaneous velocity. Okay. Average velocity, instantaneous velocity, average speed, instantaneous speed. So how they are different from each other. So we come to know that how speed and velocity are different from each other. So speed and velocity are different to each other. How? So one is a scalar, one is vector, one depends upon the magnitude only, one depends upon both magnitude, direction, as well as it follows the law of vectors. Okay, but so now what do we mean by average velocity and instantaneous velocity? How we can understand that? Now please understand this. Now please understand this. What we are trying to tell you here. What is the difference between average and instantaneous? Okay, now please understand this. So when we talk about the speed, sir, it is change in distance upon change in time. It is change in displacement upon change in time. Okay, that is okay. Now, this is the difference between speed and velocity. Now, how average speed is different from instantaneous speed, or how average velocity is different from instantaneous velocity. This is something that we must think about. Okay, now please understand this. Now please understand this. So speed and velocity both refers to the change in the displacement and the distance with respect to some change in time. Now please understand this. The difference between this term average and instantaneous lies between this thing change in time. Now please understand this. So if change in time, now please understand this, for average speed or for average velocity, I'll be using C, this delta T. Okay. And for instantaneous speed or instantaneous velocity, I shall be using dt. Now, how these two are different from each other? Now, please understand this. So, see, this is dt. So, when we write dt, basically it is a differential quantity. Now, what do we mean by a differential quantity? So, differential quantity is something. Differential quantity is something which is very, very small, which is very, very small, which is infinitely small. So what we mean to say here, please try to understand this. What we mean to say here, that whenever we talk about instantaneous speed or whenever we talk about instantaneous velocity, whenever we talk about instantaneous speed or whenever we talk about instantaneous velocity, okay, the time period is reduced to be, the time period is reduced to be infinitely small. So when we are seeing some quantity like speed or velocity, okay, not quantity, just we are talking about the speed and velocity. So when we see for speed and velocity, when we are seeing them in a very, very small time period, when a very small change of time, okay, that is why we call it instantaneous. Instantaneous means at an instant of time. Okay. Now, if if the change in time is absolutely very, very small, it is infinitely small, what we can say, we can say that the change in velocity we are seeing is instantaneous. That is, at a particular instant of time, what is the velocity? Are you getting my point? What is the change in displacement? So whenever we are seeing the changes in distance or displacement, when the time is changed with infinitely small, that means the time you have stopped somehow. Okay, your time is not changing at all. You are seeing at an instant of time. That is what we call as the instantaneous speed and velocity. So to summarize this thing, what is the main difference between the average and the instantaneous term? So in average, we are seeing big enough time difference. Okay, we are seeing the change in distance or displacement in a good enough time, in a big enough time. And when we say instantaneous speed or instantaneous velocity, basically we are seeing in a very small duration of time, that is almost instant of time, right? Okay. Okay. So this is the difference, that how much time period you are taking. Okay. So now basically in this session, because so see, as I say that the instantaneous speed or instantaneous speed or instantaneous velocity is something, instantaneous speed and instantaneous velocity is something that you are seeing in a differential time, that is a very small duration of time. So when it is at a very small duration of time, when you are seeing it at a very small duration of time, that is you are reducing it to the differential quantity. So for understanding the concept of instantaneous speed and instantaneous velocity, you will be needing some concepts of differentiation. So from where we'll learn the differentiation, we are biology students, so I'll be coming up with a session on mathematical tools. So there I'll be telling you the differentiation, only that amount of differentiation that is required for your NEET preparation, for preparation of physics in context of NEET, right? Okay. So instantaneous speed, instantaneous velocity is something when you are reducing time to a very small time period. Okay, you are reducing this time to a very small time period, and then you are seeing the changes of distance or displacement. Okay, so for instantaneous speed and instantaneous velocity, what we require? So we require the concept of differentiation. That is what we are going to see in the next upcoming YouTube video on this channel, So now what we are going to do? So we can try to understand the concept of this average speed and average velocity. Okay. Now this is something very, very simple. Average speed and average velocity. So I'll be giving you the formula and we'll be solving multiple questions. And when we solve the multiple question, definitely with the help of question, you will definitely learn this concept in a good way. Okay, so sometimes physics has to be learned, it has to be studied by the help of questions. So when I say average speed, basically it is the total distance upon total time. See, very, very simple. Total distance upon total time, right? And this average velocity, what is this average velocity? So it is total displacement. It is total displacement upon total time. Hello, Shri Sai. How are you doing, Bida? Welcome to the session. So, my dear, in this session, we are discussing about the concept of average speed and average velocity. Okay. In the previous session, we have started the kinematics, and on this channel, before this session and before the starting of kinematics, we have completed the units and measurement completely. Okay. So the first chapter, first unit of NEET physics is completed. Now we are into the second unit, and we are trying to do it in a very, very fast manner. Right. Okay. So we are discussing average speed and average velocity concept. Okay, so there are two kind of. I'll just give you a flashback. So what we have spoken about. So we know speed and velocity. Speed and velocity. What is the difference? So we know speed is the scalar, velocity is the vector quantity. So speed is change in distance upon change in time, and velocity is change in displacement upon change in time. Okay, and we have seen the difference between the distance and displacement in the last session. Okay, distance and displacement. Displacement is the shortest distance between initial and final position, and it is also a vector, right? So basically, when we talk about the speed and velocity, there are two kind of speed and velocities are there. Okay, one is average, one is instantaneous. One is average, one is instantaneous. Okay. Okay, so what is this the difference between average and instantaneous? So if it is speed or if it is velocity, basically you are seeing the change of distance and displacement respectively in some change in time. Okay. Now if the change in time is big enough, okay, that means that you are seeing the change in distance or displacement in a big enough time difference. Okay, like for say or finite time distance, like something has been into motion for 5 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, 0.5 second, 0.1 second even. That is also a average speed or velocity. But when I say instantaneous velocity, so I am holding the time. I am holding the time. We are seeing at some instant of time. Okay. Because when I say instantaneous speed and instantaneous velocity, basically we are reducing that difference of time to a very, very small quantity, to a very, very small thing. And that difference of time is what we are calling dt. See, in physics or in mathematics, whenever you are using this dt, dx, dy, dz, dp, that means your quantity is reduced to a very small, difference. Are you getting my point? Okay. So basically, instantaneous speed and velocity, for understanding these two things, will be requiring some concepts of differentiation. So whatever differentiation is required for the NEET purpose, for the physics of NEET, I'll be coming up with the next session. There I'll tell you the differentiation, and then we'll move to the instantaneous speed and instantaneous velocity. But for time being, we are moving ahead with average speed and average velocity. So what is average speed and average velocity? When we are taking good enough time for something, right? Okay. Okay, so what is average speed and velocity? Simple, the formula is total distance upon total time in the case of average speed, and total displacement upon total time in the case of average velocity. Okay, is it fine to everyone, the live student? Please say. If it is fine, you can give me a yes or no in the chat. So let's understand these things with a question. See, I just tell you there is only one formula in this. Only one formula, and a lot of questions are getting asked from this June in the NEET examination. So let's have a question. So a boy walks 2 meter, or let's say 3 meter east, 3 meter east in 2 seconds, and then 2 meter west in 3 seconds. 2 meter west in 3 seconds. Okay, this is not 25, this is 2 seconds. Actually, this is sometimes my S and 5 look like the same, so that is why I have written SEC, second. Okay, otherwise, see, the unit, the symbol of this second is S only. Okay, so our boy walks 3 meter east in 2 seconds and 2 meter west in 3 seconds. Find his average speed. Very simple question. Find his average speed and average velocity. Can you tell me this? What is the average speed and average velocity? Yeah, can you answer me that? A boy walks 3 meter east in 1 second and 2 meter west in 3 seconds. Find average speed and velocity. All of the live students, can you guys try answering me this? Please give me a yes or no. बताइए. The live student can respond to me. So very simple, sir. Let me do it. Let me do it. You can try the next question. So this is very simple. A boy walks. So let's suppose the boy starts walking from here, and he walked 3 meter in the east direction. So we know this is the east direction, right? So the boy walks 3 meter in east direction, and then he walked 2 meter in the west direction. So firstly, this is, let's suppose, A. He started from A point. Now he reaches this B point, and from this B point, he started moving backwards to 2 meter west direction. 2 meter west direction. So what is going to be the average speed here? What is the average speed? So average speed is simply the total distance upon total time. So what is the total distance here, sir? So the total distance is, sir, he have walked the 3 meter in the east and 2 meters the west. So what is the total distance he has covered? So the total distance he has covered is 3 plus 2, that is 5 meter. And in what time he has covered? What is the total time? So 2 seconds plus 3 seconds, so 5 seconds. So what is going to be the average speed, sir? The average speed of this boy is going to be 1 meter per second. I hope it is fine to everyone. Yeah, please tell me. Just you require to see what is the total distance he has traveled, what is the total time he has taken. So it seems to be very simple. Yes, it is very simple. With the help of few more questions, okay, you will be able to understand this. And I tell you, if you see the previous year questions, a lot of questions are getting asked from the year. Okay. Okay. Now let's move to the next thing. Okay, now average velocity. So what we should do for the average velocity, so So average velocity is the total displacement upon total time. So what is the average velocity? So average velocity is going to be, so what is the displacement? The displacement is 3 minus 2, that is 1 meter. What is going to be the displacement? 3 minus 2, that is 1 meter, right? That is 1 meter. So what is the total displacement, sir? The total displacement is 1. What is the total time, sir? The total time is 2 plus 3 seconds, that is 5 seconds. So what is going to be the average velocity? The average velocity is 1 by 5 meter per second. Is that fine, Buddha? Please answer me. Yeah, what do you say? Is it fine? Okay, very very simple, no? Very very simple. Yeah, what do you say? Now let's try to do one more question. So we have one more question. So let's say a man goes from A to B. A man goes from A to B at V1 speed, and returns returns to A, or I'll say returns from B to A, at V2 speed, at V2 speed. Find average velocity, find average velocity and average speed. Find average velocity and average speed. Please go for it. I'm very sure we can do it. Okay, what does it say? A man goes from A to B at V1 speed and returns from B to A at V2 speed. Find average velocity and average speed. What is going to be the average velocity? What is going to be the average speed? Please try that. Please try that. I'm very sure we can do it. Please go for it. The live students. See, in each of the questions, firstly, you have to think what they are asking you. See, you have only one formula. What is the formula, sir? Speed is equal to distance upon time. Now, first of all, no worries, Shishtai, no worries. Okay, take your time, take your time, take your time. If you want me to slow down, that is also fine. Okay, okay. Otherwise, what you can do, you can tell me to slow down. I'll slow down. No worries. Okay, it is for you. Okay, all for all the students only, right? So now, please see. So, what is going to be the average velocity? No worries, no worries, Shishtai, no worries. Okay. So, what is the average velocity? So, the average velocity is the total displacement upon total time. Total displacement upon total time. So, when someone has started from A and then he goes to B and then from B he returns to A. So, what is the displacement? So, the displacement is 0, isn't it? Displacement is the shortest distance between initial and the final position. Okay. Now, initial position is A, final position is also A. Okay, okay, very good, very good. Initial position is A and final position is also A. That means that the displacement is 0. When displacement is 0, so average velocity is 0. Okay. And now, what is going to be the average speed? Should say understood, understood, my dear. Average speed. What is going to be the average speed? So average speed is going to be the total distance. Now please try to understand this. So see, average speed. So what is this average speed? So average speed is total distance upon total time. Now here is the twist. Not the twist exactly, but here you have to be cautious, I must say. Total distance upon total time. So what happens? So this person went from A to B and then come back from B to A. So from A to B, if the distance is D, I may say that the total distance covered by him is 2D. How come, sir? He went D and then he came back. He went from A to B, then from B to A. That means he has undergone distance D. Okay, when he goes from A to B and then from B to A, he has again taken that much distance. So The total distance is 2D. Now, what is going to be the total time here? What is going to be the total time here? So, what is the time? Okay, so he must have taken some time to reach from A to B, and then he must have taken some time from reaching from B to A. But sir, it must be equal, no, because the distance is same. No, no, it is not equal. Why it is not equal? Because the speeds are different, no? Because the speeds are different. So when you are having different speeds to cover the same distance even, you definitely are going to take different times. So what we can do, so let's suppose that this very person, this boy has taken, so it is a boy now, man. So this man took T1 time from reaching from A to B. Okay. Then he has taken T2 time displacement is one. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Okay. See, what is the displacement? She's like, displacement is the shortest distance from initial to final position. Let me tell you something. Let's suppose we have this point A, we have this point B. Okay. Now we have started our journey. We want to reach to B, right? We started our journey from A. We started our journey from A. Now, when I started our journey for A, sorry, when we started our journey for B, how many ways are there? Ha, 3 meter east and other is 2 meter west. She said, just try to understand this. So if I go from A to B, I can have infinite ways, right? I can go in any way. I can go here, then go here, then go here. So do you understand this? That the displacement is the shortest distance between 2 points? Yes or no? Now, if I connect this A and B directly, the shortest distance between them is going to be this. Do you agree to this, my dear? Yes or no? Yeah, I hope yes. Yes. Now please understand this. So this boy walks 3 meter east direction. So we understand that this is east, this is north, this is west, this is south, right? Okay. Now let's suppose that this boy started from point A and he walked 3 meter east. So when he walked 3 meter east, he have must reach to some point. Let's suppose that point is B. Okay. Now he then walked 2 meter west. Okay, so 2 meter west when he is walking. So from this point, when he moves towards west, that is, he is coming backward. Do you agree? Now, when he is coming backward, so 2 meters. So after 2 meters, he'll reach to this point. Let's say, let's name it C. Now, what is the initial position of the boy and what is the final position of the boy? So the no, it is west, now my dear, west, not north, right? What if it was west? If it was not, it would be like this, not 3 meter, then 2 meter. Then what would be the displacement? This distance would be the displacement. Are you getting my point? We would have joined these two, right? Okay, so it can be anything. It can be anything, right? Right? So from your name, it seems that you want to go to the aims, right? Okay, so I hope this is fine. So when he come back 2 meter west, so what happens? That the displacement becomes 1 meter, right? Okay. Now, can I come back to this question? Is that clear? Other live students also welcome to the session. We are trying to understand the concepts of average speed and average velocity. Ha! Please attend all the classes. Okay? And also please watch the other videos also. Na? Other videos, that means so on this channel, this is the second chapter we are doing. So if at all, see, in the first chapter, there are, I think, more than 12, 13 videos. So if you are starting, what I suggest you that you see the motion in straight line part 1 first. This is part 2. Okay, so otherwise you will be lagging behind. Obviously, you cannot see all the sessions in a day. That is also not advisable. So after this session, if you watch the first part of the kinematic, that will be helpful. Okay, because in the next session, yeah, average velocity in this case is zero, because when we started from the same point and then came back to the same point, the displacement becomes zero. Now we are talking about average speed. Okay, do you want some time to solve average speed? Yeah, shall I wait? Average speed, you have given some answer. Okay, 2 V1 V2. Yeah, perfect, wonderful. So see how we are going to do it. Very, very simple. So as I was speaking, average speed is simply total distance upon total time, right? Total time is what? So we have taken some time to cover the first distance, then we must have taken some time to cover the next distance. So I say T1 and T2. T1 and T2. Now please understand this. So speed is equal to distance upon time. So time is equal to distance upon speed. So can I say, so in duration one, this very person must have taken this much time because he moved by the distance d at a velocity v. So it will become d upon v1. Now in t2 time, he have covered the distance of d and with the speed of v2. So how much time he must have taken? He would have taken d upon v1 plus d upon v2 time, right? Okay. Okay. So what is going to be the average speed there? So the average speed is going to be, so dd will be cancelled out and it will become 2 upon 1 upon v1 plus 1 upon v2. Okay, so this is going to become 2v1 by 2v1 v2. So this question has been asked multiple times in the examinations. Okay, 2v1 v2 upon v1 plus v2. Clear? Yeah. Now, please see one more thing. Now, let's suppose that some person started here. He have covered some distance at a speed v1. Okay. Let's say this is from where he has started, and by reach this much point, he has covered a distance of, let's suppose, d. Okay. Now, from this point, he moved forward and then again covered the same distance d, again covered the same distance d at a speed of v2. Okay, at a speed of v2. Now let's suppose he may have moved by the same distance, okay, at a different speed. Okay, so see what you can do, guys. What you can do, so you can generalize this case. See, in NEET examination, my dear, saving time is also very, very important because see, there are so many questions you have to do. Okay, we want to go into the AIMS college, so that is the topmost medical college. Okay, ranked one in NIRF rating. You must know that, right? So we have to create some shortcuts also. We know the concept, we know the process, but at times we may use the concept shortcuts also. Now, please understand this. I'll give you one shortcut. So if 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 12, any number of equal distances are covered with unequal speeds, like same distance, speed is same distance covered every time, but the speed becomes different. So in these cases, you can generalize this result. How, sir, we can generalize this result? Can be generalized. How? So if we have covered three equal distances, so it will become 3v1, v2, v3 upon v1 plus v2 plus v3. Are you getting my point? This is going to be the average speed. If four distances, like we are covering d1, d2, d, four distances, so it will become 4 v1, v2, v3, v4 upon v1 plus v2 plus v3 plus v4. Is that fine, my dear? Is that fine, my dear? And in at times in examination, you will see it like this also. 3, so average speed, if I call it as v, so you can do it like this. 3 upon v is equal to 1 upon v1 plus 1 upon v2 plus 1 upon v3. So either you can go by the concept or the way we have learned, okay, or otherwise you can do like this also. Okay, okay. Like in this case also you can write 2 upon v is equal to 1 upon v1 plus v2. 1 upon v1 plus v2. So V is going to be what? V is going to be your average speed. Okay, is that clear? Is that clear? So we have made this a standard case. Okay, so many questions like this, like when someone have moved half the distance, remaining half. So if I quote one more question, so a man covers half distance. Yeah, yeah, right answer only. A man covered half distance. Okay, half distance, right only. Precise. Okay, a man covers half distance at v1 speed. Okay, v1 speed, and other half at v2 speed. What is the average speed? Now I want you to tell me without using your pen. So half at V2 speed, what is going to be the average speed? Average speed. And in this case, you understand that speed and velocity are going to be same. Okay. Why? Because there is no difference between distance and displacement, right? Now, it doesn't mean that its speed will get some direction. Okay. It's just that their magnitude will be same, right? Now, please try to answer it. Yeah. Just. You are right only. So actually, yeah. So here it will be okay. Sorry. My bad. This is V2, V3, and this is going to be V3, V1. Yeah, sorry. I just went with the flow. Yeah. Thank you for correcting me, Shifai. Okay, here I have written the right thing, but here I have just did the. So you better remember this way, na? You better remember this way. Okay, because when you are taking the when you are going to take the LCM, you are going to get this way, right? So okay. So sometimes teachers also do some slipping. Na? Thanks for correcting me. Yeah. Okay. So I hope it is fine. Yeah. Now please answer this one. Okay. I hope this is fine. Na? So you better remember this one, right? You better remember this way. Okay. This way there is no confusion. Otherwise it is complex to remember. Na? Yeah. Sure. Let's do this one. Same average speed. No. So in this case, half distance, that means same distance. So we have particular distance. So the same distance. So half distance, that means D and D. So let's suppose the whole distance is 2D. So in this case also, what is going to be the answer? 2V upon 1 upon V1 plus 1 upon V2. So in this case, V is going to be 2V1 V2 upon V1 plus V2. So either you can go by the concept and you can go by the direct solution. So if you remember this direct solution in the examination, you go by this. Okay, and see, I don't recommend. See, I am not recommending you to memorize everything. Okay, don't take me wrong. But if at all you are able to memorize, otherwise go by the normal way. You will get the same answer. Okay, now let's do one more question. So let's suppose a man, Shivesh, hello. A man covers half distance with a man cover half distance with speed v, half distance with speed v, and remaining half at remaining half with speeds v1 and v2, remaining half with speeds v1 and v2 for equal time interval, okay. Find is average speed. Now please try to do this. Shivesh, what we are trying to do here, my dear. So we are into kinematics. So we already have done one session of kinematics. In that, I have spoken about the distance and displacement. Yeah, Shivesh, it is kinematics. So I myself was telling you this, na. So basically, what happened? So we have firstly completed the first unit of physics of the NEET examination. That is units and measurement. Okay, okay. So you can see all the video. Yeah. I am waiting only. She said you have to solve this question. I am waiting only. I am talking to Shivesh. Okay. So this question only when I'll solve only when you do, and I must say we solve. Okay, we solve, right? Okay, Shrivesh, so unit and measurement is completed on this channel, and now I have started with the kinematics. So this is the second session of the kinematics. In the first session, I just gave an introduction that what is kinematics, how it is different from dynamics, what are the variables involved, okay, and how distance is different from displacement, or displacement is different from distance. Okay, okay. Afterwards, in this session, I am talking about the speed and velocity. So you must know speed and velocity, right? Speed is change in distance upon time, velocity is change in displacement upon time. So everyone knows this formula, no? And everyone knows this also, that speed is a scalar and velocity is vector, right? Now, can you tell me the difference between a scalar and vector? You also should say what is the difference between a scalar and vector? She say your answer seems correct. Very good. Wonderful. Wonderful. Now, she say, can you answer me this? What is the difference between scalar and vector? Shivish, you also? You also? What do you say? So, sir, a scalar is something which depends upon magnitude. Okay, only. Vector is something which depends upon magnitude and direction. That is not completely true actually. Vector vector is something which depends upon magnitude, which depends upon direction, and there is a third condition. There is a third condition that vector is something which must also obeys all the laws of vector addition. Okay, वेक्टर एडिशन के जो भी लॉस हैं वो भी उसको फॉलो करने हैं. Vector is something which depends upon magnitude and direction. This is something very popular, no? But people forgot that vector is something which also has to follow the law of vectors. Yes, Sri, wonderful. Okay, law of, no, not algebraic law. Algebraic law and laws of addition of vector are different. Okay, two scalar quantities, like if I say there are two scalar quantities, she will say, just understand this. So scalar quantity 5 and 4. You add 5 and 4, you always get 9. But when you add 5 vector and 4 vector, okay, it can be anything between 1 and 9. Are you getting my point? Okay. Yeah, vector law of addition. Okay, so afterwards, Shivesh, what we have done is speeds are of two types. One is average and one is instantaneous. So for instantaneous, we will be requiring some concept of differentiation. So I'll be coming up with the next section in which I'll be discussing the differentiation till the amount you require for the NEET examination. Are you getting my point? Okay, not more than that. Okay, but before that we are doing this average velocity, average speed thing. So in this session we are dealing with the average velocity and average speed. So I'll tell you next question you can attempt. I'll tell you this question now. So average speed is what? So in general, average speed is total distance upon total time. Total distance upon total time. Okay, total distance upon total time. So what is this total distance? So it says a man covers half distance. A man cover half distance. So let's suppose the half distance he has covered is d by 2 or d, whatever you want. So d by 2 with speed v. Okay. Now the remaining half with speed v1 and v2. So the remaining half is, let's suppose remaining half is d by 2. Okay, now he has covered till some distance at a speed v1 and till some distance at a speed v2. This is the question. This is the question. Okay, now v doesn't know. Now many students get confused. Sir, they anticipate anything. Okay, so the distance is d by 2, so must have covered d by 4 with a v1 speed and another d by 4 with v2 speed. There is nothing like this written in the question. Also remember one thing, that whenever question is given to you, what the answer should be in terms of whatever variables are presented in the question. Are you getting my point? So you cannot answer this question. You cannot answer this question in any random number of variables. You cannot bring t to the question solution. You cannot bring d to the solution. Your solution must be in terms of v1, v2, and v2. Are you getting my point? Okay. Now, what is the total distance he covered? The total distance is d. Now, what is the total time? So, for covering this d by 2, he is moving with the speed of v. So, what is going to be the time? So, time is going to be d by 2 upon v, right? Okay. Time is equal to distance upon speed. So, d by 2 upon v, right? Now, let's suppose, so what is given? So, remaining half with speed v1 and v2 for equal time interval. So, equal time interval, so that means he may have covered the remaining distance within the time of 2t, because both time intervals are the same. Okay, so if he has moved with v1 speed, he has moved in the time period of t, and then v2 he has moved in t. I hope this is fine to everyone. So t plus t is going to be 2t. Now, if I want to solve this question, what I can do, either I can change the t in terms of d, or I can change the d in terms of t. In any of these cases, I require the final solution of v1, v2 and v. I want to let go of this d and t. I don't want that in my final solution. Now please understand this. So we understand that this distance is d by 2. So what is the distance? This is distance is d by 2. So now this distance, so up to this point, what distance he must have covered? Yeah, Srisai, wonderful. So what distance he must have covered from here to here? So he's moving with a speed of v1 in time t, and then he's moving in the speed of v2 in time t. So we have v1t, we have v2t. We have v1t and we have v2t. So he must be covering this much distance here. Yeah, do you agree? Yes or no? Now from here, t is going to be how much? Sir, it is going to be d upon 2 v1 plus v2. D upon 2 v1 plus v2. I hope it is fine to everyone. Now we can put this value of t here, right? So now the average speed is going to become. So see, we are using the same formula. Now you will be surprised that these questions. Yeah, yeah. Wonderful. I understood that. Yeah. So now these kind of a question are getting asked a lot in the examination. Are you getting my point? So it seems to be very simple, but they are getting asked a lot. So here, this T I'll put, so it is going to be D upon 2 V1 plus V2. Okay, D upon 2 V1 plus V2. So from here, we can let go of the D. We'll cancel out this V. So what is going to be? So we'll take the LCM. So it will become 2V v1 plus v2. So obviously d and d are getting cancelled out, right? And it is going to be, I have taken the LCM, so it is going to be v1 plus v2. And this is going to be equal to 2 times v. Okay, because this 2 is there now. Just taken the LCM, right? See, d cancelled out, then we have 1 upon v, and this 2 also we have taken into the LCM. Okay, so d cancelled out, so it is 1 upon v, 1 upon 2v plus 2 upon 2 v1 plus v2. So I think you will be good enough in LCM and taking all this, right? So this is going to be the answer to this. Is it fine? She said, very good, beta, you have given the right answer. Now let's do one more question. One last question. Okay, just because this is a very simple topic now, you can practice by yourself. So it's standard question. All these are standard question. They are asked a lot. Some of them are already PYQs. Okay, so a bus covers half distance at a speed v and remaining half at v1. Remaining half at v1. Okay, for 1/3 of time. Okay, and v2 for 2/3 of time. Okay, 2/3 of time. So in this case, you need to get the average speed. Okay, please go for it. Shivesh, I hope you also have understood the concept of this, sir. Yes or no? Please answer me. Yeah, I'm waiting only, waiting. Yeah, please do it. Shivesh, I want you to solve this question as well. Very simple. Now, speed is equal to distance upon time. Just that we are using. Average speed is total distance upon total time, whatever total distance is covered in whatever total time. Very, very simple. Right? Please try it. Please try it. And also, this will be the last question for this session. Similar question you can do in the PYQs you will find, in the practice sets you will find, right? Mm, no, it seems to be incorrect. Let us check. Let us check. What about you, Shivesh? What about you, my dear? What is your answer to it? She said, can I wait for 2 minutes so that Shivesh also solve this question? Is that fine to you, my dear? No, no, it is again wrong. She's saying. You chat, yeah. Numerator must be what? I can only see this. Numerator must be. What numerator must be what? Yeah. She said, what about you, my dear? See, it is important that we are attempting the question. See, physics is kind of a subject that more you attempt. See, if you try memorizing everything, you can never understand the physics. I tell you. Okay. Yeah. Please try it. Okay. So you have to keep trying. You have to evolve. You have to evolve. Right. I have done PhD. Okay. Masters. Even I am evolving day by day in physics. Right. Okay. Numerator must be the above. Okay, okay. Numerator must be the above. No, denominator also have some problem. According to the book from which I have taken the question, I didn't solve it. When we solve, we'll come to know. But the denominator also have some problem, Shita. Actually, there is some, difference in what you chat and when it comes to me. Okay. So there is some 40-45 second difference in that. Okay. Right. So we will be able to bear with it. Don't worry. Okay, this is for you guys only. Okay, now Shivesh, I'll solve. Okay, you just see. Please observe. Okay, and we'll come up with more questions. So a bus covers half distance at speed v and remaining half at v1. Okay, for 1/3 of time and v2 for 2/3 of the time. What is the average speed? So what? Let's visualize. So a bus have covered some half the distance. So we can take d by 2. We can take d. Okay, total distance you can consider 2d in that case. Now, normally, like how a heart goes with this d by 2, half it is written. So, a bus cover half distance at a speed v. So, the speed is v. Now, the remaining half at two speeds he have covered, and it has covered basically. Yeah, she said. Okay, just let's see. Might be some error also. Okay, it is not always that we are incorrect. Book is always correct. Let's see. Let's check. So at V1 for 1/3 of time and V2, so here this distance is covered in two speeds V1 and V2. Now what is the information given? Now to cover this V2 distance, he must have taken some time. Okay. Now 1/3 of that time, 1/3 of that time, he moved with the speed of V1 and 2/3 of that time he moved with the speed of V2. Okay. Now, this much we were able to understand, right? We must able to interpret the question, right? And also, my dear guys, see what happens in the NEET examination. You won't get this much time to interpret the question. That is why we say now we have to practice, 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 right? Nearly, you see, in 3 hours duration, in the duration of the NEET examination, 3 hour 20 minutes, you need to read almost 10,000, 12,000 words. Sometimes someday you do the mathematics. Okay, 12,000, 11,000 words you have to read, you have to then solve. So when you are taking this much time to interpret the question, it is not going to, you are not going to get the, correct answer or the correct rank that you desire, right? So we have to improvise, we have to improve, and this will only happen with the practice. Nothing to worry about. With practice, it is going to happen. Don't worry. Okay. So we have D by 2. Shivish, don't worry, don't worry. Yeah, now it is correct. Okay. So D by 2. Shivesh, don't worry. Okay. Even we all are. See, Shivesh, there must be people you have heard, I must not say it, that I am a god of physics. See, this is absolutely rubbish. Okay. I have done PhD from Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee. I have done masters from there. IIT is a good thing, na? Prestigious institute. I have done from there. Even my professors today don't say that they are very good at physics. Okay. Till, see, physics, you have to evolve. You have to evolve. You cannot memorize everything, and it will happen. Don't worry. So we understand that speed is distance upon time. Now let's try to interpret the question. So d by 2 distance we have covered with the speed of v. The remaining d by 2 we have covered with two speeds v1 and v2. The first speed we carry forward. Shivesh will talk about it. We'll definitely talk about it. Just one moment. Huh? So V1 speed we followed for 1 by third of time, and V2 speed we followed for the next 2 by third of the time. Right? Okay. Now see what happens. So what is going to be the average speed? So the average speed, now please understand this. So what is the total distance he has covered? See, speed is total distance upon total time. Ashish, we'll talk about it. Just give me one moment. I'll solve this question. Otherwise, the whole thing will be interrupted. You will not be able to understand. And the someone who is going to see the recording also will get interrupted. Now, so when we are into a question, I'll discuss to it. Don't worry. I'll discuss. I'll come back to you. Don't worry. So now see what happens. So these the total distance. Now, what is the first time? So he have moved from A to B in what time? So the distance traveled by him is d by 2 and the speed is v. Okay. Now the remaining time is what? So this is going to be equal to t na. 1 by third of t plus 2 by third of t. Do you agree to it or not? Yes or no? She said and she wish. Right? Distance upon time. So the first part of the time is the distance traveled and the speed, and the second part of the time is 1 by third of the t plus 2 by third of the t. So they will mix it up and it will become 1 third plus 2 third, that is t, right? D upon d by 2 of v plus t. Understood? Now again, if we can get somewhere this t, it will be good to go. So now this distance is d by 2. Okay, so what is the time he must have? What is the distance? So distance is speed into time, right? Distance is speed into time. Now someone has moved at a speed of v1 for t by 3 of time. So v1 into t by 3. This is the distance. Let's suppose he may have reached to this point. So this is going to be how much? This is going to be v1 into t by 3. See, speed is equal to distance upon time. So distance is equal to speed into time. Okay. So speed is v1, time is t by 3. So till this, he must have reached, he must have covered v1 into t by 3. Then plus, what is the distance from this point to this point? Sir, he is moving with a speed of v2 and the time he is taking is 2t by 3. The time he is taking is 2t by 3. Okay. Okay. So from here, again I can get this t thing. So what is going to be t thing? So 3 by 2 of d. Okay. And it is going to be 3 by 2 of d v1 plus 2 times v2. Do you agree to it? Yes or no? Right. Please tell me. So how we have done till this point? Is it clear? Yeah. Yeah. Shivesh. Right. I hope it is fine. Now we will get the average speed. We'll get the average speed. So it is going to be d upon d by 2. So it is going to be d by 2v plus t. So t is going to be 3 by 2 of d upon v1 plus 2 times v2. Okay. Okay. v1 plus 2 times v2. Yeah, Shivesh. One thing, this thing you must remember, the formula is speed is equal to distance upon time. So you must keep, shuffling between them, right? You must keep, shuffling between them. Yeah. Like here we have to remove the distance. See, there is only see, one basic thing is whatever given in the question, the final solution must be in the terms of those only. Here you see any D, you see any T, no. So they have to be gone from the final solution. The final solution must be in terms of V1, V2, right? Are you getting my point? Okay. Now from here D will be cancelled out, and what we are going to get, we are going to get how much? So from here, this is going to be 2V V1 plus V2, 2V2, right? How, sir? I have taken the, D is cancelled out, and then we have taken this, LCM. Okay, and LCM, so it is in the far denominator, so it will go in the numerator. This basic thing you know now. Otherwise, you can tell me that, sir, please tell me this also. So this will become V1 plus 2V2, and this is going to be 3V. Okay, because this V goes there now. Now it is fine. Yeah, she said. Basically, I am telling this in context to every chapter, right? Not only this. So, whatever is the question, whatever information is given in the question, whatever variables are given in the question, your final solution must be in terms of that variable. Like, for example, if I ask you, we have a container, okay, and there are two gases in this, okay. One is P1, V1, T1, and the other is P2, V2, T2. Okay. Now I removed this very chamber. I remove this very chamber, and what is going to be the final pressure of this mixture? Okay, so basically what I'm trying to tell you that in the final P3 you cannot use anything other than P1 V1 T1 P2 V2 T2. That is what I mean simply, right? Okay, now see this thing, only one formula that we already know. Sir, speed is equal to distance upon time. So average speed is total distance upon total time. You have to see what is the total distance. Like for example, if I say that someone is moving at a velocity of v1 and v2 for equal time periods. The time period is equal. What is going to be the average speed? She say, see, I cannot move from this point onward unless I tell you the differentiation. Okay. You see, I stop the class at a point where we get a conclusion. Like if you are following the lectures, lastly, I have taken somewhere near 3 hour, 30-minute class in which I have given you the complete revision of units and measurement. Okay. And see, now from this point, if I have to move to the instantaneous velocity and instantaneous speed, I have to tell you about the mathematical tools. So I want to make one video of mathematical tools separately. So the next session will be doing that mathematical tool thing in which I'll be talking about differentiation, their basic formula, basic algebra, basic calculation, and their use in the physics. Are you getting my point? And afterward, then we come in kinematics again. Okay, then we have to see the integration. So this is how it flows. It depends upon the topic. Okay, and as you are saying, so we'll increase the time. There is nothing money about it. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, just I am just quoting. If two equal time period, two velocities v1, v2, then you can take simple average to it. Right? So basically nobody is going to ask. So do you think in NEET examination they are going to ask you this question? Never. Right? Never, no. Okay. Now let's discuss some things. Okay. So Shivesh, you have some problem with the time, sir. You are saying, sir, I'm very okay. So you are saying, sir, our request, we have biology class at 4 p.m. So if you can schedule your class little early, it will be good for me. Shivesh, normally I schedule my class at 3, okay, because the biology class is at 4. But today what happened, my dear, I live in Roorkee. So here it was a very thunderstorm was there, very, climate was very, a lot of rain. So there was a power cut. Right now also there is no power. So I am running on inverter. Okay, so I am teaching you right now an inverter. Shivesh, yes. So we are planning for this also. We can start multiple topics together. But why we are waiting? Because see, we have to go one by one. So I think this is the first session in which you came to my class. Okay. So see, lately what we do, we'll start something in parallel classes also will start. Okay. I am taking some classes on the special Unacademy app also. Okay. So there also we are doing some topics. So definitely we'll do. All your suggestions will be taken, okay, and we'll do accordingly. This channel is for you guys only, na? And we are, trying to complete your syllabus by the mid of the March. So definitely not today. If not today, maybe from tomorrow, maybe a week later, we have to do 2 3 topics parallel. Okay, we may start with one topic of 12th physics, or part one of 11, then part two of the 11. So recently we have started. So clearly, units and measurement is not a very authentic topic of physics, right? Okay, we talk about units, dimensions. So this is the first authentic topic of physics, right? So we'll definitely take care of all this. Fine? Yeah. Srisai also. Srisai, you have any suggestion? Your suggestions, guys, are most welcome. Okay, okay. You and Shivesh attend regularly. Wonderful. I think you guys attend regularly her sir class, right? In my class, we are coming for the very first time. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. So, I hope that you guys have enjoyed the session, right? And see, with time, definitely we are going to do in the way as you guys are suggesting us. Okay. So shall we end this today's session? So okay, guys, one thing. In the next session, I'll be telling you the differentiation. Okay, only to the point what is required for the NEET examination, nothing more than that. So please do it in the next session. Okay. And if not, I recommend that you see the kinematics first session. If you haven't seen units and measurement till now, that is fine. Okay, you can do it, parallelly, smoothly, because that chapter has nothing to do with these chapters. Okay, yeah, you should attend from the new chapter, right? Kinematics first. No, no, this is kinematic. This is the second session only. In the first session, I just give distance and displacement differences, some numericals. If you watch that video in 2x, yes, 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 Harsh sir told you this, right? Thanks to him, right? Okay. So basically, this is the second session in this kinematics thing, and in the first session we were on the very basic level. So if you attend from every session from today onwards, that is going to be a good thing. Okay. So चलिए फिर आज का सेशन में इतना ही रखते हैं. So till this, so we'll keep it to this point in this session. So guys, thank you very much. Thank you for coming in the live session, and hope to see you in the next session too. So thank you very much. Have a good day, and we'll see you in the next session.